Well, this weekend, the South Carolina women's basketball team returns to action against Auburn, but before the game, it will be a special celebration. The great A'ja Wilson is set to have her jersey retired at Colonial Life Arena on Sunday. Already with a statue out front, A'ja will now have her jersey up in the raft.
A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement tickets are selling for less than a fancy burger. That's right. You can celebrate one of the most decorated players in WNBA history for just $16. And get this, they're still not sold out. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clarkson fans are fighting over $1,000 tickets for her retirement. So what's the deal? How did A'ja Wilson go from having a statue outside the arena to struggling to fill seats for her own jersey retirement? We're about to break down the shocking fall from grace that has everyone in the basketball world talking. And trust me, you won't want to miss the real reason behind this epic downfall.
The Caitlin Clark crash-outs continue, and it's all about the Caitlin Clark now playing for Iowa. Well, she played for Iowa and her jersey being retired on the same day as A'ja Wilson's. You see how it doesn't go the opposite way? Like, nobody really cares. Like, A'ja Wilson has her retirement jersey on the 2nd of February, 2.2. Yeah, she wears 22. Obviously, it's the right thing to do. And then Caitlin Clark, unfortunately, wears the same number to the A'ja fans, so it's the right thing to do. People being like, oh, A'ja had decided hers first. Yeah, they announced A'ja Wilson's first. Clark's jersey's been in the bleachers since preseason.
Can you believe what's happening with A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement? It's like a ghost town out there. South Carolina is literally giving away free tickets just to avoid empty seats. You might be thinking, wait, isn't this A'ja Wilson we're talking about? Yep, the same. A'ja Wilson, one of the most decorated players in WNBA history. But here's where it gets really interesting. Her jersey hasn't even been retired yet. Woo.
And Camilla, but the greatest of them all is A'ja Wilson, who will have her jersey retired on Sunday. Long overdue. I know Don was saying there's a whole process, but if it was up to her, she probably would have had that jersey retired right after she graduated. Already has a statue.
Now, you might be wondering, how did we get here? Let's rewind the clock and take a trip down memory lane to when A'ja Wilson was the undisputed queen of South Carolina basketball. Can you believe it's been almost 7 years since she led the Gamecocks to their first ever national title in 2017? That moment put South Carolina on the map in a big way.
And I think A'ja set a standard at South Carolina of giving 110% of who you are, not just 110% of who you are as a player. And I think that's a huge part of her legacy because she's the GOAT. She's phenomenal. She's the greatest basketball player ever play at South Carolina.
You'd think they would have retired her jersey right away, wouldn't you? But no, here we are, 8 years later, and A'ja Wilson's jersey is still hanging in limbo. Now, just think about everything that's happened since Wilson graduated in 2018. LeBron James has switched teams twice. We've seen a whole new superstar emerge in college basketball. Wilson herself has become a 3-time WNBA MVP. But South Carolina, they're acting like they just remembered they had this amazing player who deserves recognition. You might be wondering, what's the holdup? Well, apparently, South Carolina has a rule. They wait 5 years after a player's final college season before retiring their jersey. But even with that policy, they're still 2 years late to their own party. It's like they forgot to send out the invitations and suddenly realized, oh shoot, we better do something for A'ja.
Already with a statue out front, A'ja will now have her jersey up in the rafters, joining some of the most legendary Gamecock basketball players of all time.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Wilson already has a statue outside the Colonial Life Arena. They put that up back in January 2021. So, let me get this straight. They built a whole statue for her, but couldn't be bothered to retire her jersey. It's like building a shrine for someone, but forgetting to hang up their picture. Can you believe the absurdity of it all? The timing of this is just mind-boggling. Right when Caitlin Clark is making waves and becoming the talk of women's basketball, South Carolina suddenly decides, hey, maybe we should honor our own superstar. It's hard not to see this as a desperate attempt to grab some of that spotlight back. But here's the kicker. They're so late to the game that it feels more like an IT afterthought than an actual celebration.
People being like, oh, A'ja had decided hers first. Yeah, they announced A'ja Wilson's first. Clark's jersey's been in the bleachers since preseason. Clark's jersey has been in the bleachers since before they announced A'ja's. There is a reason why there is a nationally televised game, Iowa versus USC, on the 2nd of February. This has been in the works since the day she said, since last February.
Fans are scratching their heads, and can you blame them? It's like South Carolina forgot to invite the guest of honor to her own birthday party. People are wondering, why did it take so long? And honestly, it's a fair question. This is Aja Wilson we're talking about, the player who put South Carolina women's basketball on the map, who became a WNBA superstar, who won Olympic gold. And yet, here we are, watching her alma mater fumble what should have been a slam dunk of a celebration.
Y'all, I'm going to get jumped. I can hear the pitchforks and the flames outside of my door as we speak. So what happened was Iowa announced that they are going to be retiring Caitlin Clark's jersey on February 5th, which is in
February 5th. Like, the whole reason it's iconic is it was February the 2nd, 2.2. And date and name wrong, apparently.
like a couple months. For my non-sports fans, this is like a huge ceremony where they put her jersey up in the rafters, and that means no one can ever wear number 22 at Iowa ever again.
All right, let's dive into this wild ticket saga that's got the basketball world buzzing. You won't believe the stark contrast between Aja Wilson and Caitlin Clark's jersey retirements. It's like comparing a fancy burger to a five-star meal, and the price is reflected.
Because I think every single one of us knows that is what's going to happen on the 2nd of February, is that Caitlin Clark fans are going to be celebrating Caitlin Clark. Aja Wilson fans are going to be screaming, look at Aja, look at Aja, look at Aja. And I think Aja Wilson will do a look at me. I will stand by that. Like, that would be, I genuinely think she is going to be, she's going to say something about this. I would be shocked if she doesn't.
So picture this. Aja Wilson, a three-time WNBA MVP and Olympic gold medalist, is having her jersey retired. You'd think fans would be lining up around the block for tickets, right? Well, hold on to your seats, because the reality is shocking. Tickets for Wilson's ceremony are starting at just $16. That's right. For less than the cost of a movie ticket and popcorn, you can witness basketball history. But here's the kicker. Even at that bargain basement price, their tant still not sold out.
And, well, her prices for her game are high. The only problem is Caitlin Clark's are literally about 11 times higher.
Now, let's flip the script and look at Caitlin Clark's situation. Her jersey retirement in Iowa City. It's like trying to score front row seats at a sold-out concert. We're talking ticket prices soaring from the $200 to over $1,000. Can you believe that? Fans are ready to drop serious cash just to be in the building when Clark's number goes up in the rafters. The demand is so high that Iowa is struggling to keep up. It's a full-on basketball frenzy.
For Caitlin Clark, the cheapest ticket is $522. Yeah, if that tells you anything. $522.
But why such a massive difference? How did we go from Wilson, a player with a statue outside her arena, to struggling to fill seats for her own jersey retirement? It's not just about their skills on the court. Both of these women are incredibly talented athletes. So, what gives? The timing is just so off. It's like they saw all the buzz around Clark and thought, oh yeah, we've got a good player too. But instead of capitalizing on Wilson's prime, they're trying to catch some of Clark's shine. It's no wonder Wilson's jersey retirement feels more like an afterthought than a true celebration.
Two iconic names, one historic date. On February 2nd, 2025, women's basketball will celebrate Aja Wilson and Caitlin Clark in ways that cement their legacies forever. As fans debate whose impact is greater, ticket sales tell a story of their own, with Clark's jersey retirement commanding prices more typical of marquee NBA games. We're well past that, folks.
And get this, they're so desperate to fill seats that they're giving tickets away for free. Can you imagine? One of the most decorated players in WNBA history, and they can't even sell out her jersey retirement at $16 a pop. It's not just ulsader, it's downright embarrassing. Meanwhile, over in Iowa City, they're probably wishing they had a bigger arena. The contrast is so wide, it's almost comical. Iowa's ticket office is probably feeling like they're running a three-ring circus, trying to keep up with the demand for Clark's retirement ceremony.
This appears to be the most expensive it has ever been to go to a WNBA game or to a women's basketball game ever.
So, what's really going on here? Is it just about timing, or is there something deeper at play? Some folks are wondering if Wilson's past comments about Clark might be coming back to haunt her. Remember when Wilson couldn't stop throwing shade at Clark? Well, the tables have turned, and it's not looking good for Wilson.
A lot of people are pissed that this is the second day or the same day. Now, I say a lot of people, Asia Wilson fans are pissed that it's the same day. From far as I can tell, Caitlin Clark fans don't give a rip about Asia Wilson's jersey retirement. I'm being honest here.
This whole situation shows just how quickly things can change in sports. One minute, you're the talk of the town, and the next, you're struggling to fill seats at your own party. It's a harsh reminder that in the world of sports, it's not just about what you've done. It's about staying relevant and connected with fans. Even Wilson seems to sense the shift. She's been quoted saying she feels like she'll be swept under the rug. And looking at these ticket sales, you can't help but wonder if she's right. It's a tough pill to swallow for someone who was once the face of women's basketball. Remember when Wilson was celebrated as the undisputed queen of basketball? Times have changed, and Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has sparked intense debate. But the real story lies in the striking contrast between how two universities have chosen to honor the legacies of their star athletes.
Hawkeye women's basketball player in history to have her number retired.
When the Taos Hawks wrapped up their second consecutive national runner-up season. In April, Beth GS made it clear that a legacy had already been cemented. Just a week after her final game, and months before the official ceremony, Iowa announced that Clark's jersey would no longer be worn. It was already waiting to take its place among the greats, hanging high in the rafters. That momentum carried into the next season, setting the stage for a marquee matchup on February 2nd, 2025. Iowa faced Usk and Juju Watkins in their first nationally televised weekend game, 22 for number 22. The Hawkeyes know the power of media attention and momentum, and they were ready to seize the moment.
Iowa taking on USC and Juju Watkins, nationally televised game, I believe. February 2nd, 2-2, so it's 22. Everything about it lines up.
South Carolina is taking a very different approach to retiring Wilson's jersey. Despite all she accomplished, the announcement felt like an afterthought, leaving fans wondering why it took so long. Then, almost out of nowhere, South Carolina made it official in October of 2024. Yet, nearly 4 months later, tickets still haven't sold out. So much for the hype, right?
One of the sentiments that was expressed was, oh, it's the same day as Asia Wilson's. How could you do it? First of all, I remember them announcing Asia Wilson was getting her jersey retired, but I didn't remember the date or anything. When the Clark news broke, I didn't think about Asia Wilson. And again, as is the case with Caitlin Clark, this only is going to bring more attention to Asia Wilson's jersey retirement.
This situation raises important questions about how the colleges handle the legacies of their top athletes. Iowa is making the most of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, ensuring she gets the farewell she deserves. The stark contrast between Clark and Wilson's jersey retirements reveals something deeper about the state of women's basketball. Today, it's no longer just about performance on the court. It's about fan engagement, navigating celebrity, and building a brand that extends far beyond the game.
But that is a supply and demand thing, especially in today's day and age where there's no such thing as a sellout, right? Where you can go to any event you want as long as you're willing to pay for it because of the secondary ticket market. So as you can see, Iowa taking on USC and Juju Watkins, nationally televised game, I believe, February 2nd, 2-2, so it's 22. Everything about it lines up.
In today's world, with the calm secondary ticket market in play, the concept of a true sellout no longer exists. It's all about how supply and demand. If you're willing to pay, you can attend any event you desire. Wilson's jersey retirement should have been her defining moment, but instead, it feels like a missed opportunity. Crazy, right? It's no longer just about stats and ceremonies. The real lesson comes from the contrast between A.A. Wilson and Caitlin Clark. These two athletes and how they've been handled show us exactly how to win or lose the hearts of fans, and honestly, they couldn't be more different.
We'll get to compare the ratings because I would assume that game against Auburn will be televised. somewhere?
Both Wilson and Bull Clark are incredible players, but only one of them is filling arenas, and it's not the one with the statue outside. Why is that? It's simple. Clark connects with her fans as if they're a part of her journey. After her final collegiate game, she took the time to show her appreciation and pride in being a Hawkeye, and that genuine connection resonated with everyone.
Incredible, something I'm very thankful for, and obviously I've had some amazing teammates over the course of my 4 years here, and there's been a lot of really good 22s to come before me and play for this program, whether it's Kathleen Doyle or Sam Logic, so that number holds a lot of weight, far beyond my name, and I guess I'm just really grateful, and it'll be a special day when that happens.
Wilson, however, has made a few missteps along the way. Remember when she criticized the attention Clark was getting, or the whole shoe controversy she sparked? Yes, people noticed. It's as if she's forgotten that sports are about more than just performing well. They're about evoking emotion and connection. Clark's appeal isn't just rooted in her skill, it's her relatability, charm, and accessibility. When she posts on social media, it feels personal, like she's speaking directly to you. Wilson, on the other hand, seems to struggle with balancing defensiveness and gratitude in her posts. And let's be clear, it's perfectly fine for two schools to retire their jerseys on the same day. However, if the goal was for Wilson to be the center of attention, she's likely to get less spotlight as the second most talked about jersey retirement of the day, rather than if she'd had the stage all to herself.
This only is going to bring more attention to A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement. First of all, there's nothing wrong with two schools retiring respective jerseys on the same day. But secondly, if you wanted the focus to be on A'ja Wilson, she'll probably get more attention as the second, most recognized jersey retirement of that day.
Wilson's jersey retirement ceremony serves as a reminder of the disconnect. South Carolina is even giving away free tickets, something you can't imagine happening with Clark. Lines would stretch for miles if it were her. Wilson is still one of the world's top players, so there's time for her to make an impact. But the question is, can she connect with her fans? Simply posting on social media isn't enough. It takes real vulnerability and effort. Fans want to feel like they belong, and that's exactly what they're looking for. Clark gets it. She makes each fan feel like they're her most loyal supporter. The real takeaway here is clear. Being a great player isn't enough in today's sports world. You also need to be a great person.
So this special season may have come to an end, but the impact the Iowa women's basketball team have had will last a lifetime.
Wow. What a wild ride we've been on with a Wilson's story. It's crazy to think how quickly things can change in sports, even for the biggest stars. 1 minute you're on top of the world with a statue outside the arena, and the next, you're struggling to fill seats for your own jersey retirement. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this the end for A'ja Wilson? Or can she somehow turn things around? You know what? We want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Is Wilson's fall from grace permanent? Or is there still hope for her to reclaim her spot in the spotlight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're hungry for more shocking basketball stories like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we've got coming up next.